Just a short time ago, the House voted overwhelmingly to slap more sanctions on Russia, Iran, and North Korea, as well as prevent the president from interfering with any of that. In other words, he's not able to go and say, no, you're not, or I'm not going to stand for these sanctions because the House is putting them in place. At least this is what they're voting on. All of this as Democrats continue to cry collusion in order to derail and distract the GOP from accomplishing its agenda. President Trump chiming in on all the craziness, tweeting, and I quote, "Jared Kushner did very well yesterday in proving that he did not collude with the Russians. Witch hunt. Next up, 11-year-old Barron Trump." All right, so will the obstructionist Democrats ever give up this Russian obsession and start putting forth policies that actually help the American people, or is it just not in their will to do so right now? Here to discuss, former George W. Bush policy advisor Michael Barnes and Pablo Manriquez, the K Street Media Company co-founder, Huffington Post contributor, and former DNC official. Good to have you both here. Michael, I will start with you. First of all, just this late developing news here that the House wants to be able to put forward these sanctions, but doesn't want President Trump to get in the way of any of these sanctions. That strikes me as a rather unusual move. And once again, let's not forget, the majority in the House happens to be Republican. Are they saying they don't trust their president?
I think they know politically that it is a lot smarter for him to keep his hands off all things Russia right now. And I wish that he would, as it relates to the investigations related to potential collusion, because if the investigations can continue and he's right that this is just a witch hunt, he'll be able to bask in the glory of a victory. But in the meantime, it's a major distraction, as you said, and he's falling into the hands of the Democrats by continuing to tweet and talk about these issues.
Okay, so you don't like any of that. But Pablo, you know, at the same time, I've made this point over and over again. If you're him, it really does feel like a witch hunt. And as an unbiased observer, when I look at the fact that Robert Mueller is very good friends with James Comey, when I look at the fact that you've got people on Mueller's team that have donated to Democratic Party members, including Hillary Clinton, I just think to myself, isn't there a better way? I mean, can't you get some people that don't have these conflicts?
Well, the problem that the president's going to have moving forward is that the House doesn't really do these kind of things where they, you know, exclude the president of their own party from a piece of essentially foreign policy legislation. You know, they create a piece of foreign policy legislation to exclude him from, you know, a specific policy initiative. That's a big deal.
This is his own party, Pablo, doing this, which is wild when you think about it.
It's a bellwether moment where ultimately I think that these things happen because constituents are calling their congresspeople, they're calling their offices, and they're telling them, listen, we're not comfortable with the way President Trump and President Putin's relationship is forming. I mean, these two men are obviously incredibly close. Some would say it's inappropriately close. Some would say it's just that's how, you know, it's a good thing for America because foreign leaders.
They just met, by the way.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. That's
I don't know if it's inappropriately close at this point. And Pablo, I just counter what you're saying by saying, you know, more than 85% right now of Republicans think he's doing a good job. His job approval rating is in positive territory. And more than 30% of independents think he's doing a good job, and a whopping 8% of Democrats think so as well. So it's not as though people are going crazy about this Russia stuff, other than, frankly, members of your party and the mainstream media.
But this is members of the Republican Party, Trish. I mean, I think that there is a loss of confidence in the president's ability to deal directly with Russia as a foreign adversary. But that doesn't necessarily mean that people don't like the president, or that people aren't. Yeah.
Pablo, it's either that, or it's simply that this party is in so much disarray right now. When you think of John McCain having to fly all the way from Arizona after just having had that operation, and he was needed along with the Vice President of the United States just to begin a debate on the repeal of health care. It tells you what a bad state they're in. I actually have to leave it there.
Trish, I got something really quick. All that means is that Russia is having an impact in trying to destabilize the United States by increasing this partisanship. Let's not give them that win. Let's let this just run its course.
Well,
I agree wholeheartedly with Michael.
Let's stop talking about it.
Yeah, Republicans can do their investigation, and that's it.